A lot of the guys that just came from the locker room are going to be free agents this year. And to a man, almost all of them talked about the hope of being able to come back knowing that the business side won't allow all of them to. But what does it say to you that they have that kind of sentiment because of the culture that you've created this year?
Well, it means everything, to us as a staff, to an organization, that the guys want to be here. The nature of our business, though, is you can't re-sign them all, and it's unfortunate, because it is a business and it's a business decision. But we hope to try to get as many of the guys back as we possibly can, and that was my message to those guys this morning. I met with the team as we try to re-sign them all if we can. Because we want to keep those core guys together. They were a big part of our success this season, but it's a credit to those guys, obviously, that they want to be here. We've established something this year that I think is sustainable, and we just got to build on it.
How long of a discussion do you think you will have to have with Trent about all these guys? Is that like a day? Is it 2 days? And what about wanting to express get your opinion and get your side, and he may disagree and say, well, no, I think our priority should be this or that.
Well, that's the conversations we have to have, and they're going to be tough decisions, and tough conversations. But, it's hard to put a time frame on it. It could be a day. It could be a couple of days. But, we're going to do the best for the Jags, and making sure that we have the right people here. And a lot of the guys that are free agents, they're the right type of guys that we want, and we hope to try to, at least make an impact, in trying to re-sign our own.
How much does having, from a quarterback's perspective, this is his first time Trevor's going into an offseason where he knows what to expect next year. So how much is that a help for him and mentally, everything?
It's huge. It's huge. It's the same thing I've been telling the players this morning, the ones I've seen is, especially the guys that are going to be back. There's familiarity, when the off-season program starts, they know exactly what to expect. They know what to expect during OTAs. They know what to expect during training camp. They know the offense, the defense. They know special teams. So and then for Trevor, it's everything. There's continuity. There's consistency. He knows the guys he's going to be throwing the ball to. He knows the coaching staff who's going to be coaching him, and that's big. That's big for us, and from year one to year two, and those are the jumps that teams make is usually year one, year two, possibly into year three. But for our quarterback, who had a great year this year, he'll only get better just having that consistency around him.
Where does his deeper understanding of the offense manifest itself in year two, you think?
Just knowing it. Just having gone through it. And now our job as a staff this spring is really to refine it, and we want his input in that, and whatever he suggests, we've got to listen to that and really come up with a plan as we move forward, with the offense. He's a big part of it, and so that's the exciting part, I think, as a staff, as we get to go back through and watch our. Last year we were watching all kinds of offenses, we were watching Philly stuff, we were watching Colt stuff, we were all kinds of, stuff trying to put our system together, but now it's ours, and we want his input on that.
How would you evaluate the defense first year under Mike, and if you are to bring a lot of the personnel back next year, would there be potential for a scheme change to fit that personnel?
I thought honestly, first-time coordinator, he really improved as the season went along. One of the things I thought we did a nice job with our personnel on defense is we kind of figured out where certain guys played and kind of kept them in their spots, and they blossomed from there. And Darius Williams is one of those guys, moving him back out to corner and really helped us there. And of course, Trey Herndon going back into nickel was big for us, back half of this season. And for Mike, it's just he's the same thing. He's like one of those first year players. He's going to learn from this season. He's going to grow from it. He's going to be better. Now he has a year of defense under his belt that he can go back and refine and retool and with the guys that now obviously is not the time to really figure out your roster, because we have time, but it's more about the scheme and what we were doing and knowing the guys that are going to be back, right, the guys that are under contract, did we do the best, and did we put them in positions to help us on defense? And so that's all a positive.
Did you think that was the case in the last 7 weeks of the season, that the defense was performing according to the scheme?
Yeah, I thought really, after, we started getting into that Baltimore week and beyond, I thought we really started doing some really good things. We started creating turnovers, or I was just say takeaways. It's just down here the stretch. We get in the postseason, we didn't get the ball. We didn't take the ball away as much as we'd like to, and that's something we got to look at and continue to focus on. But yeah, they showed that improvement during that time.
What do your guys know about playoff football now? The ones who had not experienced this, that they might not have known a couple weeks ago.
Just the sense of urgency of everything, how important every play is in the postseason. There is no next week. If this was a week 3 or 4 game, you got 12 or 13 games left. And you can make the corrections. But I think the suddenness, the importance of each play, mentality, the sense of urgency, are all things that our team experienced. With these two playoff games.
How much do you talk to the guys about how to handle the offseason for some of the second-year guys? It's their first time going through it with a coaching staff in place, how to kind of prepare themselves and reset and get ready for next year?
Yeah, I mean, it's important how we message the team in the offseason. Obviously, our rookies, the Trayvon Walkers, and our rookie class, the guys, first-time players, they finally get an off season, to kind of relax and get away, and then begin their training process again. So it'll be really good for them this off season, and then, for everybody else that's kind of been through, this season. There's some veteran players that have never been to the postseason. There's even some second and third year guys that have never been to the postseason. So how they handle these next couple of months is critical to their performance, their success. And then when we start the off-season program, mid-April again, just where they are, mentally with starting another season. But it's truly a reset, at this point.
And how much growth have you seen from Trayvon Walker over the course of the year, and what would you like to see him kind of develop?
I mean, everything that we saw in him in the draft process, we're so thankful that obviously we drafted him. He's a part of our football team. I just met with him a few minutes ago, and he's excited for this offseason. He's excited for his future. He understands he can get better, and he can help us in different ways. And he wants to take that next step in a leadership role, and I think that's important for him to do. That's the next step, and to be a dominant edge rusher and even an interior rusher. Again, we just find ways to utilize his strengths, and when he comes back, he'll be ready to go and eager to get back on the field.
You've been to the mountaintop, obviously, in this league. Can you feel accomplished without getting there?
I think for us this season, I think there is a sense of accomplishment for everything this team has gone through over the last year and a half. To go from one of the worst teams record-wise a year ago to winning a playoff game this year, there is a sense of accomplishment, and it's just a credit to these guys, to have it all starts in the offseason, and it starts with the amount of people that we had and the players that we had here in the offseason to build the foundation, to start there, and then to just keep building upon that. It wasn't, obviously, it wasn't a pretty season by any means. I mean, we had that stretch in there. It was pretty rough on us, but to every guy in there right now, they all had a belief that we could accomplish our goals, and they never wavered from that. And it's a credit to them to kind of sticking to it. And it is something to really build upon, with the accomplishments that we did this year.
You feel more loved here in Jacksonville right now than even Philly when you won the title?
I mean, it's pretty good, obviously. Our goal is to get to that game ultimately, and the guys are in a good frame of mind. They're disappointed that the season's over, it's final, but they're also looking forward to the future and what we can do.
What a Super Bowl team looks like. How close are you to having the core here that you would need to?
I mean, we're close. We're close. I think the leadership's right. I think the core guys that we have are right. Listen, it just boils down to just continuing to work hard, and just trusting in each other. There's consistency with the staff. There's consistency with the players. I mean, you look at some of these teams now that are still playing, and that's what they've had. Cincinnati right now, they struggled early on, but these last couple of years, they've turned that corner. Kansas City is the same way. You look at the Eagles, you look at the Niners. I mean, these are teams that have been established for a while, and these players have been around each other, and that's what it takes. It takes that continuity and consistency, and we're just kind of at the beginning phase of that.
How good do you feel for a guy, you played obviously, how good do you feel for a guy like Evan who bet on himself and then delivered, and how much of a priority is he amongst those free agents?
Yeah, I told Evan again this morning how much I appreciated him. He could have gone anywhere, as a free agent, and he chose to come here, even on a one-year deal. And, what he did this year, I just saw the kind of the joy in his eyes, talking to him again this morning. And listen, he's a big part of our success. So we hope to, possibly get him back here. We'd love to have him back. He knows how we feel. We know how he feels, and hopefully it gets worked out. But just knowing who he is now and really, what he did for us this year, I mean, it means a lot to the team and the success that he had.
Do you let Trevor make a pitch for some of these guys?
We know how Trevor feels, with these guys. So we probably don't have to talk too much to him about some of them.
How would you evaluate offensive line, knowing you had to shuffle a little bit during the season, but also looking to next year with the left side of the line coming back kind of banged up? Where do you go?
I like where the offensive line is. Having, I know where, Juwan is obviously this year, but he played outstanding, football for us, and I think he's another one that we hope to, tie up if we can. But having somebody like Walker Little to be able to step in and do the things that he did, it's important. You see the importance of having that third tackle, and really the guy that can even fill in at guard if you needed to, and Walker's been that guy. And obviously Cam, we're excited to get him back at some point this year and get him rolling again. And, we get Ben Bartz back in the mix. I mean, so there's excitement with that group. Focus is to get them healthy, obviously. Get Brandon healthy, Luke healthy, and all. This is that time. But excited where the offensive line is. I know we've got some things to work out this spring, but feel really good about those guys.
Financially, from your time in Philly, how much, again, I understand it's a group decision with you, Trent, and everybody, but keeping that offensive line fortified and the nucleus there, how important is that on the food chain?
Do you like Trevor?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah, he is, and we like him, so we want to keep him clean and upright and all that. So, I mean, it's important. It's important to us that we make every effort to get guys back, and we know JT is what he's meant to this team and organization, and we'd love to be able to get that done. And he knows that, and sometimes there are business decisions that are out of our control, but it is important to let them know that we want them all back, and try to make every effort to do that.
What was your evaluation of Devin Lloyd and Luke Porter this year, and what was your message to them as they go into the offseason?
I thought Luke, starting with him, that's really for both guys. It's a tall order from the standpoint of being able to come in here and start as rookies, and especially Luke, with the amount of information and communication that takes place as a center, and he's only going to get better, and really, really comfortable with him, and it's the reason why we drafted him, because he played that way for us, and so excited for his future, moving forward. Devin, the same way, you saw flashes of it early, had a little bit of a lull there. And it's different. In college he was a sort of a outside backer type, on the ball linebacker, where we're asking him to play off the ball. It's a different game, and there's some communication there. But I thought the time, their midseason where, Chad went in and played a couple of games there, I thought that really helped him, because when he came back, things began to kind of slow down. He started understanding things a little bit more, and he's only going to improve. Again, having an off season to kind of rest and heal, and then come back, understanding, his role and what we're asking him to do, the scheme on defense. I just see nothing but brighter skies for him.
Doug, Ridley is a key part of this thing moving forward, potential upgrade on offense. What would be the timetable for you, assuming he gets cleared next month? Would you then immediately send him a playbook? Would you bring him in?
We can't send him
do
anything.
until
It's
March.
so technically we're after today, by the CBA and everything, we're in this dark period where we can't do football with anybody outside of just reaching out and seeing how they're doing and how their off season is going. So once he is cleared, we can make those contacts. But really, football wise, it wouldn't be until April 17th when we come back for the off season program.
Is there every belief that he's going to be cleared?
We feel that way. We feel strongly that way. Obviously, but it'll be after the Super Bowl, I think, before we know.
Did you think you guys had enough vertical passing threat options as we talk about Ridley and we look to next year, this past season?
I did. I did. I mean, you can always take more opportunities too. We probably didn't do that as a play caller. You can always call more and dial more up. But I thought that some of the opportunities we had, it is an area that we can improve. We had a big one the other night that just went through his hands, Christian and stuff like that. But those are all areas too that you kind of have to pick your spots when you do it. But I like the guys and feel like we have the right guys to be able to stretch the field that way.
Travis Etienne, this is first year really playing in the NFL. What'd you think about his year, and is the biggest thing he needs to work on this offseason ball security?
I thought Travis, coming off the injury, off the foot, and putting the year together, with the yards and everything. Just he ran tough. He's a physical guy. Really liked where he was at. He catches the ball well, all of that. Did some great things there. And I think this will be a good offseason too now, because he won't have to rehab as much and and all of that. And he can kind of focus on just getting better as a football player. But there's always ways to improve, and as we look at it this spring as a staff, we'll put a list of objectives for each player moving forward that we'll send to the guys, and especially when they get back here in the off-season program to really work on. But really liked what he did for us this year.
Doug, you referenced that continuity a bunch this year with Carson when you had him, that second year, Jalen, what he's doing in Philadelphia, Burrow last year. Do you have a vision of what it might look like in year two for Trevor? That step?
Yeah, it's one of the things I think we can improve as an offense is just the actual throwing and catching of the football, right? I just felt like there were times this year where we just missed on a couple of things, and that just comes from working together. And that's that jump that you talk about from year one to year two. And, this past offseason, a year ago, it was all about every day was a new day because we were putting something new in, and we weren't going back and really, catching up on things we put in 2 days ago. This offseason is going to be about just picking up where we left off and moving forward. So that's a big jump right there. And then just getting better, route discipline, route detail, and then Trevor just understanding where the guys are, delivering the football, being accurate in certain situations. We can improve in the red zone. We can improve on third down, are all areas that we're going to focus on this spring. But that's where you're going to see the biggest jump is just, I think, the pitching and catching between quarterback and skill group.
Sorry to
He's
circle.
got time for two more.
Sorry to circle back, but back to Darius. Will he be playing outside corner in an ideal world next season?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a natural spot for him. And, he did a great job when we put him back out there. He did a great job when he was in the nickel, but I think we're a better team with him on the perimeter.
How fun has this been for you, getting back into it?
This has been great for me, kind of re-energized. It's a great group. It's fun to coach younger players, a good young group that's eager and energetic and just want to win. That was the biggest thing with this group, back in February when I was here, the ones I met, they just wanted to win. They work hard, and that's what I can appreciate. It was fun. It was fun to come to work every day and be around the staff and be around the guys, and looking forward to year two.
Does having such a young nucleus give you that much more confidence that all this success could be sustained moving forward?
It does, but there's some factors that go into that, and injuries and all that play a big part in our success, throughout the year. But yeah, I mean, you feel like your window of opportunities now, strike while the iron's hot, so to speak, and we've got to take advantage of that with the guys we have, with the free agent process, obviously the draft process coming up, and just we got to hit on all those benchmarks and continue to improve the team.
Thanks, Doug. Appreciate it, Doug.
All right, guys. See you in April.